Hi students, welcome to the Narayana IIT Academy. Today we are going to discuss the 17th March second shift physics paper discussion. We start with the first question. First question is based on the semiconductor devices. It is given a combination of three different gates here. Then what is output and what gate will come as output here. This we can understand by each and every output of the gate. First, when A is coming here, B is coming here, this become A dot B whole bar, which is AND gate. AND gate inverse NAND gate. And this is A, B, this is A plus B, which is OR gate. This is NAND gate, this is OR gate. This is AND of these two here. AND means output Y will be A bar, A dot B whole bar dot A plus B. As it is simply multiplication, or before that we use De Morgan theorem. That is A dot B whole bar can be written as A bar plus B bar dot A plus B. And if you do the multiplication, this become A bar dot A plus A bar dot B plus B bar dot A plus B bar dot B. And for any input A dot A bar and B dot B bar both become 0. For any input A and B, this totally becomes 0. Then we left out with A bar dot B plus A dot B bar. And this is simply output of exclusive OR gate. So definitely exclusive OR gate is the output of this total combination, which is other way of denoting this exclusive OR gate. First question, easy question. We are going to the second question, next one. Next one given that when radius of the planet is r and satellite distance of 11r, time period is 24 hours. When distance of 11r from the surface, 24 hours, and if distance is 2r from the surface, what is the time period? Generally for this we use the Kepler's third law, which is T square proportional to R cube, or T proportional to R power 3 by 2. But R is the distance not from the surface, distance from the center. As distance from surface is 11r, from the center is 11r plus r, 12r. First distance is 12r. Whereas second one, distance from surface is 2r, so from the center is 3r. Then if you take the ratio, T1 by T2 will be R1 by R2 whole power 3 by 2. First time period given as 24 hours. Second time period we have to calculate. First R1 is 11R plus R, 12R. Second is 2R plus R, 3R. Whole power 3 by 2. Naturally, we get this value as 8 here. And this 8 cancel in 24 by 3 times, so T2 will be 3.00 hours. So answer is 3.00 hours, numerical value. Easy question directly from Kepler's third law. That is second question. Next, third one. Third one is given the equation of velocity as v equals to v naught plus gt plus ft square. Then we have to calculate the position. And yesterday also one model was the same as this. This we can do using integration method. Why integration? Because velocity defined as rate of change of displacement. Naturally, displacement or position is the integration of v dt. And as v is given as V naught plus gt plus ft square dt. And limits are given from 0 to 1 second, whereas initial value is 0 here, x value we get, that is 0 to 1. Then this become V naught t plus g into t square by 2. The t square is 1 square minus 0 square plus f into t cube by 3. That is t cube is 1 cube minus 0 cube by 3 after substituting limits. So that finally we get this as V naught plus g by 2 plus f by 3 will get. So correct answer is, the first answer is correct answer. Third one, simple integration method. Next, fourth one is in a pure inductive circuit, effect on reactance and current when frequency of AC is become half. When frequency of AC is there, reactance denoted by XL, which is L omega or L into 2 pi f. Naturally, when frequency become double, as XL directly proportional to F, even XL also become doubled. So reactance will be double in the first case. Whereas second one, in third case also showing that its reactance double. But we have to check for current also. What is current? I is nothing but voltage by XL. That is, as XL is become double, but current definitely become half as it is inversely proportional. So definitely third one is wrong, only first one is correct. So correct answer of fourth one is first one itself. Next, second one, it is saying that 1 mole of polyatomic gas with 2 vibration modes. What is beta? Generally we call this as gamma in general notation, but given as beta here. Then what is polyatomic gas? Generally without any vibration modes, polyatomic gas has 6 degrees of freedom. Out of 6, 3 will be translatory and 3 will be rotatory. Apart from this, 2 more degrees of freedom are there. So total degrees of freedom is 6 plus 2, nothing but 8 degrees of freedom. Then beta, which is Cp by Cv, direct formula is 1 plus 2 by F. That is 1 plus 2 by 8, 1 plus 1 by 4, nothing but 5 by 4. And 5 by 4 is 1.25. So correct answer is 1.25. Very easy question. That is in the case of thermodynamics, in the case of polyatomic gas. Number fifth one. Next, sixth one. Sixth one is given that one loop is given like this, and we can divide into 3 parts. 2 straight conductors, infinite long conductors, and the point is end point. Other is semicircle. If you call them as B1, B2, B3, as current is in same direction, all B values will give in the same direction. So B values all in same direction. And this is end point, this end point, B1, B2 both are equal. For end point, formula is mu naught I by 4 pi R will come. Both are in same direction. Whereas B3 will be in the form of semicircle, mu naught I by 4R will come. As in denominator pi is there, we multiply divided with pi to make calculation easy here. We divide, multiply with pi here to make calculation easy. Then total magnetic induction is sum of B1, B2, B3. Why? Sum means all 3 are in same direction, that we can say using Ampere's right hand thumb rule. If it is like this, it is invert. For this also it is invert. Even for this also it is invert here. All 3 are in same direction. Simply we add them. When we add them, we can take mu naught I by 4 pi R common. So it is 1 plus 1, 2 will come, plus pi will come. So mu naught I by 4 pi R into 2 plus pi is nothing but third answer correct. That is number sixth one. Next, seventh one, it is given that sample of gas are taken through isothermal or adiabatic process. Choose which of the following diagram correctly represent isothermal as well as adiabatic process. And different graphs given. First is PT graph, other is PT graph, other is VT graph, fourth one is PT graph. In all the cases, first one isothermal is always temperature remain constant, but this graph is not showing like this. Even this temperature remain constant, it is also showing like this, and this one, all four are there here. But if you go for other one, which is adiabatic process, if you check this correct here, and this is isothermal is wrong. So this is wrong here, only out of these two. But only thing is, here graph slope is gradually decreasing, here slope of the graph is increasing. And if you take the slope of the graph using the equations, what is the equation in terms of Vt? Tv power gamma minus 1, and other one p power 1 minus gamma into t power gamma constant. If we differentiate to get the slope, definitely we find that this slope correctly matches with this. So correct answer, isothermal is a straight line parallel to y-axis, and other one is a curve which is of increasing slope. So D option is correct for this seventh question. Seventh one important. Next, eighth one. Eighth one is simple like our Gauss law, that is flux here. Flux is nothing but scalar, which is E bar dot A bar. And A bar is nothing but area into n cap, which is perpendicular to the plane. As plane is yz plane, n cap is I cap. And area is 0.4. Then, if we take E bar dot A bar, only I dot I become 1 here, and I dot j becomes 0. So we don't consider this j here. Only we consider I, so that flux will be simply 2E naught by 5 into 0.4. And this is 0.8 by 5. And what is E naught given? It is 4 into 10 power 3. And totally it comes as 0.8 into 4 is 3.2 into 10 power 3 by 5 into 2, make the problem easy, that is 6.4 into 10 power 3 by 10, means 0.064. This flux being SI units, it will be SI units, that is Weber right here. So correct answer is numerical value 0.064. That is number 8th one. Next, 9th one is when the body is pulling like this with a force of F here, the minimum pulling force. Actually, what is the pulling force equation? F equals to mu into mg by root of mu square plus 1, that become minimum. Or it is simply mg tan theta, that tan sin theta, the sin theta can be written as mu by root of mu square plus 1. If we substitute this, mass given as 1 into g10 into mu value 1 by root 3, that become under root of 1 by root 3 whole square is 1 by 3 plus 1 become 2 by root. Then totally become 5 newtons. So again it is a numerical problem. So correct answer is 5 newtons. That is number 9th one. 10th one, it is again integration method. If we consider one small element here, we can do integration. What we know in the case of complete disk, same as that. So direct formula we can take here, that is XCM and YCM will be 4A by 3 pi, both x and y axis. So whatever the value is given as x here will be nothing but 4 and 4. 4, that is x is nothing but 4. Numerical value, 4th answer is correct. That is number 10th. Next one, it is First, what happens is this capacitor is completely charged here. When capacitor completely charged, this become 10. Then to calculate the final charge, first we have to calculate common potential. What is common potential equation? V equals to C1 V1 plus initially it is of no potential, so 8 into 0 by 2 plus 8 nothing but 10. Total become 2 volts. Then charge on this Q will be CV, which is 8 into 2 nothing but 16 micro coulomb will come. So answer of this is 16 micro coulomb. That is 11th question. Next, 12th one. 12th one is somewhat atomic physics topic, somewhat integration method and what we require here, differentiation. Generally, when potential energy is given like this, force is nothing but minus du by dr we write, because of the function of r here, we write du by dr. That become minus d by dr of u naught into r power 4, which is minus u naught into 4 r cube will come. And this force is nothing but centripetal force, which is m v square by r. As we require only relation between r and n here, we don't take the constants, we remove the constants. Simply if we remove the constants, v square proportional to r power 4 will come. Call this as equation 1. From the equation of force, we get the equation for a velocity square, which is r power 4, or v proportional to r square. Better call this as equation 1. Next, when electron revolves the Bohr's model valid here, when electron revolves around the nucleus, angular momentum, that is mvr, remain constant, which is nh by 2 pi. Again, if we remove all the constants like h, 2 pi and m, then vr proportional to n or v proportional to n by r. If we substitute in this, then n by r proportional to r square. Substituting this value in this directly, we get this. Then n proportional to r cube or r proportional to n power 1 by 3. So whatever this alpha given, this alpha is nothing but 3, that is 3.00 numerical value. That is number 12. Next, 13th one, it is given that performing SHM and same maximum velocities. Same maximum velocity. Maximum velocity formula is A omega, which is root of k by m. As velocity is constant, A1 root of k1 is different, but mass is same. Two springs of constants respectively, but equal masses. Mass is same. Then it is A2 into root of k2 by m. As mm cancel, we require ratio of amplitudes. So which is A1 by A2 is root of k2 by k1. So this root of k2 by k1, which is the correct answer, first one correct answer. A1 by A2 is root of k2 by k1, which is the 12th, 13th question answer. Fourteenth one, simple. When it is current is flowing through this like this, then automatically across the battery we have a word called potential difference, otherwise called terminal voltage. That potential difference, as this is discharging, that potential difference V1 will be E minus IR, general form. But E is nothing but 2E minus I into R is R1. And it's given that this is 0 here, this should be 0. Then definitely 2E should be IR1 and I should be 2E by R1. But what is I? Total current flowing in the total circuit here. As no other branch is there, total current we can calculate very easily by using the Kirchhoff law. or Ohm's law. What is Ohm's law? Total EMF is 3 by total resistance R1 plus R2 plus R. And if we substitute that in this, 3 by R1 plus R2 plus capital R is 2E by R1. Then 3R1 is 2R1 plus 2R2 plus capital R. Then naturally capital R become R1, okay, 2R will come. R1 minus 2R2. Then capital R become R1 by 2 minus R2 will come. So R1 by 2 minus R2 is second answer correct, not first one. Second answer correct. That is number 14th. Next, 15th direct question. Lyman series comes in the case of ultraviolet ray. Balmer series will be in the visible, and next Paschen bracket Pfund series will be in infrared. So directly visible light is found in the Balmer spectrum, Balmer series only. Direct question number 15th, which is easy to answer. Next question, 16th. Hydraulic stress by hydraulic strain. Hydraulic strain is, this itself is hydraulic strain. What is hydraulic stress? Nothing but pressure. And pressure of any particular surface will be rho GH. And hydraulic strain will be delta V by V into 100. If we substitute this both, and if we take the ratio, directly we get this as this value here. You can substitute the values, you can check this. If we do this, automatically get the value of 14.41 in 10 power 5. So correct answer is first one. Number 16th. 17th question somewhat answer is given as students are given memory based, but this question somewhat wrong answer is coming. Pure inductive circuit, always current is lagging behind. Whereas pure capacitive, current is leaning forward. But whereas series LCR circuit, this will come like this, and the pure resistive circuit, this comes like this. That is, A matches with 1 and B matches with 2. These two are correct. But when C comes here, this 4 should come. D comes here, that is, it should come again. D goes to 3 here. So answer is somewhat not matching here. Definitely out of all the 4, either third one or fourth one with small changes coming here. So definitely 7th one, only this answer is correct. With C should be given as 4th and D should be given as 3rd. Maybe based on the memory base, they may be changing this. So 17, this answer is correct, only with changes are there here. That is number 17th. Next, 18th one, somewhat very lengthy question, and it is given that this particular galvanometer has no internal resistance, means galvanometer is ideal. When galvanometer is ideal, these two are in parallel, these two are also parallel. Then total resistance will be product by sum, that is 100 into 60 by 160 plus this product by sum is 10 into 5 by 50. That become totally 20 cancel by 5 and 8, 3. And this is 300 by 8 plus 10 by 3. And basing on this, how much current will come, that we can calculate. That is 10 by whatever R value we get, thus we do here. Then after that, when current comes here, this current divided as I1, I2. At this point, I3 and IG will come. Means to calculate IG value, first we have to calculate I1 value. As these two are parallel, I1 will be nothing but I1 will be nothing but resistance of this part, which is 60, by combination of this 160 of total I will be there here, that is I1. Whereas I3 also will be same. I3 will be 5 by 15 of I. Say somewhere it comes as a 3I by 8. This become I by 3. Then Ig will be I1 minus I3, which is I into 3 by 8 minus 1 by 3. Nothing but totally 1 by 24 of I will come. And substitute this I value in this and simplify, definitely we'll get this as 9.4 milliampere. Calculation difficulty is there, but lengthy question, we can solve this directly by taking the values into consideration. Parallel combination, total resistance, total current, and current divides, and final difference of the current will give Ig value here. This we can do 18th problem basing on this. Next, 19th one. When this body collides with this and comes to rest, this becomes 0. Then V comes here. Initially it is 0. When totally become this to become V1 V, with respect to this, there is some relative velocity here. Then this energy will become, that is half K maximum compression square will be nothing but half m into that relative velocity will come, which is V square. But relative velocity of only one mass, that is m by 2 will come here. If we simplify, we get this value here. Or even if we check the dimensions, we can find that these three dimensions will not match with this K here, only this dimension will match. Even without knowing the formula also, check with the dimension, automatically root V and by V and V into root will not match with this. Only X maximum will be V here, that V should be outside, so this dimensional matches with this. That is easy way of calculating 19th. Next question. 20th, also very big problem. It is given that each and every time a ball bounces to only a part of height. If initial height is h here, 81 by 100 times of h only raise. Then coefficient of restitution is root of rebounding height by incident height. That is totally become 9 by 10. Then what we require? We require average speed. Average speed means each and every time this ball goes up and comes down, again comes down, and like this slowly height gradually decreases. After some particular dimension bounces, it comes to 0. Then we have to calculate total displacement and total time, total distance and total time. Total distance is S equals to h into 1 plus e square by 1 minus e square. Substituting h value 5 and 1 plus e square by 1 minus e square in substitute, and also time. When height is h, first time is root of 2h by g, and like this, if number of times if you add here, this also similar formula will come, 1 plus e by 1 minus e. Then average speed, which is equals to total height by total distance by total time. If we substitute this value, we get the value which is equals to some 2.5 will get here. So for 20th correct answer is 2.5, that we can check by substituting the values here. That is number 20th. 21, when this body is moving up, which is in the form of given as rolling without sliding. For rolling without sliding, A equals to G sin theta by 1 plus K square by R square. For a solid sphere, K square by R square is 2 by 5. So G into, G is 10 here, sin 30, which is 1 by 2 by 1 plus 2 by 5. That is totally, it becomes 5 into 5 by 7, nothing but 25 by 7 acceleration. And velocity given as 1 meter per second. So initially it will go up, at one particular point it will stop, again comes back. So whatever time is going up, coming down also same time. Then total time of travel is time of ascent plus time of descent. As both are equal, we can write this as 2 into time of ascent. That is 2 into u by g. 2 into u by not g, u by a, what we got. 2 into 1 by 25 by 7. To make it more easy, multiply divide with 4. So that it become 56 by 100, nothing but 0.56 seconds will come. So 0.56 seconds is the correct answer for 21. 21 is the question only formula based. That is number 21. Next 22. As this modulation frequency is given, we require bandwidth. Bandwidth means half of the amplitude comes here. How much gap is that is called bandwidth. And direct formulas we are supposed to remember. Bandwidth is 2 times of that modulated frequency. That is 2 times of 1.57 into 10 power 8. That is 3.14 into 10 power 8. 3.14 into 10 power 8 is nearly not this, so directly we can go for this 10 power 8. 10 power 8 is the correct answer for this. Number 22. 23, also option is not there. It is given that during to and fro motion distance is 6 centimeters. Means if you call this as one extreme position and there is other extreme position, midpoint is mean position. Then total displacement is 6 centimeters. Means amplitude is 3 centimeters. Amplitude 3 centimeters means out of this and this one should be correct. But given that it is a possible given, not possible, it is a positive. If it is positive, it should be minus. Here minus sign is there. Means out of these two one should be correct, but no minus sign is there. Out of this definitely one should be correct, but this wrong because 0.06 is not amplitude is double of the amplitude. So out of these two, definitely one minus sign should be there, then one should be correct here. Then how to calculate k and omega? As frequency given as 239, omega is 2 pi f. We get this value, in all the values we get the same. Even what I can say, k is 2 pi by lambda, or velocity is nothing but omega by k, or k equals to omega by. Even if we get this value. But only problem is being memory based question, students not given correctly. So definitely should be minus sign and it should be with 0.03. Definitely out of these two one should be correct with a proper minus sign. So maybe this answer will get correct answer in the final key. 23rd, again easy problem. 24th also, very lengthy question. We draw the free body diagram for all the questions. First, for the man who is pulling the rope upward with a tension, then this surface will apply some force on this person. That is called normal reaction N here. Then weight of this person 4g, that is 40, will be downward. Then for this we write the free body diagram as T plus N equals to 40 newtons. Free body diagram of the person. Then free body diagram of the 5 kg in vertical direction, as this surface will offer some force in upward direction on the man also offer same force in the downward direction. This man offers some force on this particular block in the downward direction. And weight of the block itself is in downward, which is 5g 50. But still, this surface which is offering the frictional force will offer some force on this in upward direction. That is called N1. Then N1 is equals to 50 plus N we write. But as we don't require N here, N equals to N1 minus 50 we write. Then T plus N1 minus 50 is 40. then T plus N1 is 90. All these are along vertical. Along horizontal, tension is there, frictional force is there. Then along the horizontal, tension is pulling right side and friction force acts in the left direction. Then T equals to F, which is mu into this normal reaction, N1. And this mu is already given as half here. Mu is given as 0.5, half, so it becomes N1 by 2. And what we require? We require the value of force, minimum value of force. So automatically we require T here. So N1 is what? If you substitute N1 in this, 2T, then T plus 2T is equals 90, then 3T equals to 90, T equals to 30 newtons. So correct answer for this 30.00 numerical newtons will come. Free body diagrams will solve the problem very easily. That is 24th. Next, 25. Say particularly he is saying electric field. In the case of electric field, we have intensity word, which is otherwise called electric field energy density. That is half epsilon naught A square. Another one, P by 4 pi R square we write here. Not P square, we call as P here. Then, if we write E square proportional to P by R square, then E equals to E square proportional to P only, because he is saying that distance is same in both the cases. Even if we don't consider distance also as variable, distance constant. Then, what is E proportional to? Root P will come. Then take the ratio. E2 by E1 is root of P2 by P1. Second power given as 60 watt. First power given as 100 watts. So 60 by 100, 20 if we cancel, become 3 by 5. Then E2 will be root of 3 by 5 into E1. And 3 noted as x here. So definitely value of x will be 3.00 numerical will come. So correct answer of this is 3.00, that is 25. Next, 26th. Yesterday also one question was there, same as this. Amplitude of damping oscillation will be A naught into e power minus bt by 2m. And it is given that if the amplitude at 20 minutes is 6 centimeters and this 12, this 6 means the value become half. When this become half here, e power minus bt by 2m or bt by 2m is ln 2, which is 0.693. From this damping constant b will be 0.693 into 2m by t. That is 0.693 into 2 into mass is nothing but 1 kg by time is 20 minutes. So there is 20 into 60 seconds. 2 cancel by 10 times and this 6 almost 0.11 will come. That is totally become 11 into 10 power minus 2 minus 3 minus 4 will come. Or it is 1.1 into 10 power minus 3. If you go for this 1.1, extra if we take one more digit into consideration, definitely the answer will be 1.16 into 10 power minus 3 will come. You can take the ratio 0.693 by 6. If you do here, we will get 1.16. Okay. Thank you.